We are live.
Woo! Hello, everybody out there in podcast land. I am Mixlam. He is Miles Revolution, and we are two freaks doing a show. We're with you live every Thursday night, right at this time, 6 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Mountain, 8 o'clock Central, and 9 p.m. for all of you all the way over in the West Coast. If you like us, you can always find us on Facebook and Twitter, and probably YouTube is where you're finding us right now. If you look up just the Miles Revolution and you like us, go ahead and subscribe to the Miles Revolution channel. If you want to follow me specifically, you can follow me right here on X, formerly known as Twitter. And as always, leave a comment, join our conversations here, and leave a like on the video. It helps us. It always helps us in the algorithms and helps us reach more people. And if you really like us, you can share this video and tell all your friends who love AGT about your favorite AGT show.
Yeah.
So, Miles, what do we got going on today?
Today we got, I'm pretty happy with how the show ended. I was just kind of surprised as to how it ended. There weren't really any surprises as far as who made it through and who didn't make it through, to me. Of course, when we take the first, I guess if I can get into it already, the first 1, 2, 3 acts, and then they had Mariandrea on there. I thought, you know what, if those are just the first 4 acts that I have to choose for who to go through, then the Mariandrea was the one that I would put into the top 5. The other I didn't like. Did you like the puppets this time?
I did like the puppets. I was very sad to see they got 2 X's. I was very sad to see them not in the top 5. That I didn't think was fair. I don't think it was fair to Puppet Simon. I don't think it was fair to Puppet Sofia. And I don't think it was fair to America and the people watching. So here was my top 10 favorites. Not who I thought would go through, but these are my favorites. Okay. But also really who I mostly thought would be top 5. Number 5, Chibi Unity. My 5th.
I figured they'd be in the 5.
Yeah. And let me say, I had high hopes for this show, and it did not let me down. Pretty much everybody, with one exception, would have gone over everybody last week. I mean, there was probably 6 acts in here that I thought were deserving, judging by who we already have in the finals. Okay. Number 4. This was and we'll get more into these all in detail as we go through the people. But number 4, I had DeCorey Johnson. I was shocked by the kid. I really, really liked this performance, and I didn't expect much. Number 3, I had the Cowbells. Not quite in my 2, but I really liked them. Number 3. Number 2, I had Anna.
Yeah.
And number 1, I had Shadow Ace. Shadow Ace was by far, I posted about this on Twitter, by far the best of the show, but not only of the show, maybe of the season. This was like a winning act.
I think he better, and I'm going to say this now, he better be the wild card that goes through. Otherwise, America's getting stiffed.
I mean, this was crazy he didn't go through. Because when he was when it was him and Anna at the end, I go, because I really thought Chibi Unity would be in the final 2.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I didn't think they should, but I'm not too mad about it. They were in my top 5. Those top 5 are pretty close, with the exception of Shadow Ace. So when it was him and Anna, I was sad because I was like, Anna's going to go, and I really wanted her to go through. But Shadow Ace is going to go, and then he lost. And somehow Simon said the exact same thing as always. And I don't know, like, what's happening here with the judges, if they're just lying. But I think I said this on last week's show. Simon just keeps saying, America just keeps getting it right. Everybody in the finals should be there. Everybody's doing the right thing. I'm like, they're not doing the right thing. Not even close to the right thing.
Well, my wife said, I sure like the old Simon. What happened to the old Simon? And because the show, it's not really the same. Really.
No.
But I'm not been out of shape that Anna went through.
No, it's nothing against her.
And when I saw those top three, it's like, no, those are probably the best three acts of the night.
Yeah.
So I sure hope that Shadow Ace gets put into the wild card vote, and he should go through. I don't know why he wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not sure of anything. These golden buzzers seem to hold a lot of weight with the voters. If you're a golden buzzer, it's like America wants to vote for you more.
So
I think
calls the buzzers, not necessarily because they're the best, but because they got the golden buzzer.
Yeah, I think like when people get a golden buzzer, I don't know if it's psychology or what, but it's like people think they're better than they are. And I say I like Chibi Unity. I'm not even mad about them being in the top three. I didn't like their act as much as the first time because I really liked the first time. I've said they were the only golden buzzer I thought was worthy of a golden buzzer. But I just feel like we've had so many golden buzzers now go through the championship, and I don't think they're deserving. And I think that the voters are just really influenced by people being golden buzzers. I think knowing that they're golden buzzers, I think people think they're better than they are.
Yeah, well, thank you, judges, for helping America out.
As far as Simon goes, I feel like Simon on AGT, because he came in late. What, this is like his sixth season, something like that on here. He was always a producer, but he wasn't a judge.
Right.
Old school Simon's from American Idol. And I feel like at this point, Simon's a caricature of himself. It's this, they have like the puppet Simon, and everybody kind of makes fun of him like he's just like this grumpy guy and he does this and this. But this isn't, they're talking about old Simon.
Right.
Old Simon wouldn't even have laughed at these jokes that they poke at him. He would have sit there stone-faced about it and maybe smirked a little. But this new Simon's always in on the joke and is Mr. Nice Guy on everything and seems to just want to make everybody happy. And I don't know if that's because he's a producer and he thinks that's better for TV and that's what people want to see now, or if maybe he's just older and his personality's changed, which is also possible. That's
what I would say. Maybe it's older and he's just getting old and more mellow. Nothing bothers me anymore. Kind of attitude. So I don't know.
Well, maybe we should let's look a little more in depth at these acts here.
All right. Let's see what we got today. All right, Zion Clark. Actually, I picked this particular picture for a reason. Because this is the part of the act that I like the most. Was when he went on the drum set. And I saw that his stool was on the drum pedal, and then how he actuated the pedal was by moving the throne that he was on. I thought that was pretty cool that they did that. So
this act is exactly what I expected it to be.
Yes.
With the exception of the drums. The drums was really cool. But it was just the same act, basically. It's just an inspirational act. Doesn't deserve to go through. I was afraid. I say I didn't put him in my top 5. I was afraid he was going to take a top 5 slot from someone who deserved it.
I thought the same way. That he would. I was afraid that America would vote for him and put him in the top 5. And I was surprised that he didn't.
He was in the top 5.
Oh,
right?
wait, he was in the top 5. Never mind. Yes,
Yeah,
he was.
yeah, he was in the top 5. Yeah, I think he was the only. Yeah, because he took. I don't remember who he took out, but I think he was the only. He was the only one of my top. Because I had 4 of the 5. I can't remember.
Mariandrea.
I can't remember who took out Cowbells, but he took Cowbell's space in the top 5.
That was DeCorey.
Oh, that's right, because they were both in my top 5. Yeah, and I was like, one of them was gonna get knocked out.
Yep. Mariandrea, the dancer, was with Zion Clark.
Okay, but yeah, Zion Clark, as I kind of said about him before, it's a really cool act. It's nothing against him personally. It's just not a Vegas act. It's not America's Got Talent. But
I don't even want to call it an act.
He can totally tour high schools and speak.
Yeah, I don't call it an act.
It's really
it's
not
a motivational show, or not a show, a motivation speech or something.
Yeah. Yeah, he reminds me of I don't know if you were around for this because you're a little older than me. I'm in my early 40s for anyone watching. Most people just think I'm 25.
Okay.
I just look really young.
Yeah.
But I'm actually old. I'm a grandpa even. Fun fact for all you out there. When I was in elementary school, I want to say 4th, 5th, 6th grade. This is late 80s, early 90s. Some of you may remember this watching if you're around the age. There was this group called the Power Team, and they were a group of Christians, and they were big muscle guys. And they came and they would speak in schools. I don't know how they got away with this. Maybe things were different back then, because now I don't know that you can have basically a Christian missionary group going to public schools. But yet it happened. And these guys would come and we'd have assemblies, and they didn't speak about God or anything in the assembly, but they would do motivational speaking like this, and that you can do whatever you want. And these guys would rip phone books and drink gallons of milk, and all the kids would cheer, and they would bend, bars. And I said, this guy just reminds me of that. These guys would do these cool feats, and everybody would cheer. And then the guy would grab the mic and say, back when I was 18, I was homeless and smoking marijuana all the time, and I turned my life around, and you can do it too. And then they'd rip a phone book again, and everybody would cheer. It's this kind of act.
Right.
And he could do this in the schools and make a good living, and kids would love it.
Yeah, I think he already makes a good living.
Yeah. So
he's just not going to add the $25,000 a year from the 40-year annuity for winning America's Got Talent to his.
Is this a good social media increase for him? Would you say?
Not compared to others. I mean, he has a couple. I don't have him highlighted. He has, 2 million social media followers or something like that.
2 million?
Yeah. So his increase wasn't as much as some of the others. I mean, Putri, hers went up. Her increase since the show was over 2 million.
Yeah.
Followers. Some of them have gone up like 400,000, 500,000. Gabrielle, who's going to be on next week, I think his went up 500,000. It's okay. It's not necessarily a lot, but
yeah. So it's not a lot considering, but AGT is giving him a little push.
Right.
I don't know how many people he'll get from AGT for his act. I mean, as far as viewers go. But yeah, it looks like he's got some. Danger Zone said over in the YouTube chat there, Zion as a niche. He definitely does, like we talked about. Said before he sucks now, but I'm assuming by the timestamp he was probably talking about Simon.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
All right, well, let's go to the next person.
All right. Here's your favorite. But now they did make a point here that there was no Howie and no Heidi in this particular snippet. So,
well, do you think there should have been?
No, because it's all about Simon in the first place.
Yeah.
And then And Sofia didn't like it until they brought her puppet out. So wishy-washy.
I don't know. I'm confused. I'm confused what the judges really think. If the judges like it or not, and did they, because they put it through, but I don't know if they put it through as a joke or that they really like it.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know why they put it through in the first place. I never liked it, so we already know that. In case you missed a previous episode.
Yeah, and Sofia buzzes them, and then Simon buzzes when Sofia comes on. And so, like, they only like it because there are puppets in it. I'm kind of confused if they're joking or they're being serious or what's going on. But I thought the act was cool. I love the dancing girl puppets. Like, they were my kind of women. And I thought they had good moves and they're like shaking their bodies. And I like it. It's just a fun act. I say I would watch this.
I would watch you watching them.
Yeah, I like it.
Entertainment would be.
I mean, this is good. This is a good time, and I feel it can be a really big family act. I feel like this is something you could go to in Vegas with your family. Something would be kind of like a circus kind of act. I think people will go to this. I think this is a real Vegas act, and I'm sticking to it. It was not only in my top 5; it was in my top 3. I'm not going to go as far as say it should have went to the championship. Not on this episode, but if it was on the first audition, if it was on last week's episode, this would have definitely been in the final 2.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you're passionate about it, but still, it's not for me.
It's not going to, I will give you this. It's not going to be the wild card.
No. And if it is, I will have a cow bell.
Cowbell.
I don't have anything else to say about it.
All right. Well, do we have any? Are they have more followers or anything? Or
I couldn't really find them, so I don't know what their story is. So
yeah, we haven't had our friend on the chat here who usually fills us in on these guys.
Gavin,
yeah, Gavin. He always seemed to know about them.
Yep.
All right,
Roland. All right, on to Roland. I was surprised that his follower count went up so much. And interesting enough, almost all of them are on Facebook.
Huh.
That's where he's.
Well, he's old. Well, how old is this guy?
I don't know.
He looks old. He looks like he's like 40.
Could be.
And Facebook is for old people. So that makes more sense as he probably has more of a Facebook presence.
Yeah.
So that could be his thing.
But he's really the only guy who has a really big Facebook following and hardly any following anywhere else.
So did you like him?
No.
See, I didn't either. My wife really liked him. And I thought this was a horrible song choice. I don't know why he picked this song.
I don't know why the judges liked it.
Me neither. And I don't like how harsh his voice sounded at parts. Because he has a good voice, for sure. That's undeniable.
Well, it's a unique voice.
So. Yeah, I think that he has a great voice, but I like unique voices. I didn't like it on this song. He's not my style. I was afraid he would sneak into the top 5.
Well,
I thought a lot of people really like him, and the judges' comments really matter, I think, when it comes to votes of swaying people. And so I was a bit surprised that he wasn't in the top 5. I don't think he deserved it, but I was a bit surprised he wasn't there.
Well, what I do is when they go through to pick out the top 5, I write them down, and then I personally guess before they tell us what the result is, who won out of the 2 people or 2 or 3 people. And for this particular round, I was actually right as to who won on all of them. And he was up against Chibi Unity.
Yeah.
And so you almost know who the winner is. At least you should.
Well, it's funny because when he was standing there against Chibi Unity, I said, well, he's out, and
Yeah.
you can tell by his face.
Yep.
Like, yeah, you can. Sometimes it's a little close, but these people they put them next to aren't random.
No.
And they make it all seem like random. They're like in no particular order, and we're just gonna have people step forward and go through them. Like, no, they know who they're putting
the numbers. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, but this guy has a big social media following.
Yeah,
and yeah, the judges love him. So I thought he had a chance, but I'm glad he didn't go through, and I'm glad he didn't get in the top 5.
Well, but he's got a career, obviously.
Yeah, he's got a career.
Yeah, with social media, so he'll do fine. This girl, she'll end up going someplace. I wouldn't be surprised she comes back a couple years later. And you can't really track her media followers because she's underage.
Yeah, that's the hard thing about with these underage people. I understand why there's the rules for following underage people.
Yep.
It just seems like, I don't know, if you can prove somebody else is managing your account, if you're a performer, you could do it or something. Right. But I don't know.
Well, AGT's making money off their YouTube videos, I'm sure, though.
Yeah. Yeah, they can promote her.
Yeah.
I really loved her audition. I agreed with one of the judges, I can't remember who, that I really liked the scariness of the first one. And I see that in this one, she's just going to go right with it. And I love this. I like this. This I wouldn't have been mad in the top 5. Again, if this would have been on a different episode, there were so many good acts, great acts.
Yeah, it was a better night. I will give you that.
I loved it. I love the presentation. I generally don't like this kind of dance, this thing where it's like you're just shooting into the air and doing these weird things. I'm not a big dance fan, but I really like this. I really like her. She could easily be in my top 3 of some of the other episodes. She just got put with this group, which was unfortunate. I wouldn't have been mad if she was in the top 5, though.
Yeah. I really liked her and her act. And so I think, once again, this is certainly not a end of the road for her. I mean, she's got the whole world open to her. So,
yeah, I think she's got a positive future for her in the business.
Yeah. I would like that kind of an increase for followers.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
So, looks like McGavin did chime in. Back to the puppets, he said they do have social media under Pandersonium. So, but I couldn't really track him. It's a little too late to track him.
Yeah, and then Sam said over there too on the YouTube chat, McGavin took the words out of my mouth. He also did puppets. Oh, what's it? Also did puppets in season 10, if you remember him. So he would be interesting to talk to because he got on the show twice.
Right.
Twice with puppets both times.
What attracts them to come up with another act? They always want to involve the judges in some way, and they had the idea of a Simon puppet, so they contacted Christian.
Okay.
No. There you go.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So yeah, that's how he got on. That's what I would assume happened. I mean, I didn't assume it with a Simon puppet, but I assume they had to call him to bring him back. But he would be a good one to have on here. It's like Miles's nightmare, but I would love it. I would love to bring on him. I'd love to bring on Christian, but I'd like to bring him on as the puppet.
Let's see here. I'll try to contact him and
see what they have.
Christian Anderson.
Yeah, Christian. If we can get Christian on here, and if we can talk to him as puppet, that'd be great. It's funny how much of the show comes back to puppets. We have a lot of discussion about these people, and I say because they're great.
No, you're talking a lot about them. I'm not talking a lot about them. You are.
I would think they're maybe the most maybe the most divisive act we have the whole season. And I wonder if they're this divisive for America, because I'd like to know what people thought about those dancing girls, because I loved them. And I want to know if people want to pay to see those girls dance one more time. Because I will.
Okay, well, that is good information. Thank you, Mixlam. Too much information for me. All right, Kylie Frey, Kylie French Fry is how she's known in some social media. Her follower count actually went up decently. I'm glad in this act that she actually moved around and didn't just sit in front of a microphone with a guitar. Even though the song still wasn't particularly memorable to me, I think she still has some kind of career going. She's not going to be a Drake Milligan, but she's got her looks going for her, I guess. But that being said, from this act, it's obvious she wasn't going into the top 5.
Yeah, this was fine. I have nothing negative to say about it at all. It's just fine. I mean, maybe somebody might say that's negative. It wasn't good for me. I say I'm not a country music fan, so you really have to be somebody like Drake to really blow me away. But this was just okay. I'm not laughing at it. I'm not voting it through, but it's okay. This belongs squarely in one of those other audition weeks that I just thought, you just had these acts, and I'm like, all right, this just belonged in with those. Nothing bad, nothing great, but it's not even close to the top 5. Like we knew that she wouldn't be in there,
right?
But we knew it coming in too. This was just like her audition for me. And I thought the judges, I was a little upset, and I'm usually not too upset at what the judges say, but I thought it was entirely unfair as a live music fan that they harped on her voice so much, because she was trying to entertain. Like she said, I was having fun. She was moving around.
Yeah.
Of course her voice is going to go in and out because she's not singing to a track and she's trying to move around and entertain. If you want her to stand there like a statue and have the voice, great, but I don't want to watch that. She's a performer. Let her perform. Who cares if the words went out once or twice?
And I don't even know if the words went out, because
I didn't even notice.
Me neither. So I don't even know where that came from. Now maybe something happened there in the theater that didn't come across over TV or something, where they lost the sound. But it sounded fine to me, and from a musician's point of view, it's like, what on earth notes were they whining about? There was nothing that rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, I didn't think. Yeah, and like I said, I don't want to defend it too much, because I'm like, I wasn't even like a huge fan. It was just fine, but like I would have thought this was one of the worst. Like, this is a pretty bad musical act just by listening to them, and they're usually so positive about everybody. So there's a lot of undue hate on from the
there was something messed up about their comments on that. I totally agree.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
But
and that could have even dissuaded the votes. So they didn't want her to go through. So they said, well, let's badmouth her.
Yeah, that could be wrong. Let's see over in the YouTube. Sam bringing us back to the puppets here.
Oh my goodness. Let me plug my ears here for a second.
Kristen Anderson, I believe, is the first person to get X's in the live shows in 2 different seasons since his puppet Ira also got X'd by Howard. So that's back when Howard Stern was on the show instead of Simon. So he was X'd twice in the live shows. That should at least make you happy.
Yeah.
At least he was.
Why they keep bringing him back? It's as bad as bringing Cedric back all the time. Oh my goodness.
The chat is interested in this act. This is what people are talking about.
Well, this is just a small percentage of the world in the chat.
This is I say us in our chat, our show is basically a microcosm of the AGT fan base in general. We kind of cover the whole gambits. And what are people talking about after the shows? The puppets.
The puppets.
That's who they're talking about.
Oh no, I uttered the word. I had a conversation with you. Man, I'm so done.
All right, Gavin. Interesting. Seriously, yeah. Just send us a message on wherever. Say just look up the Miles Revolution on Facebook or Twitter, or you can look at my Twitter too. Or just send us a message on any of those, and we can.
Or Instagram. That's how I found them.
Or Instagram, yeah. So you can look at Miles on Instagram too.
Yep.
And if it's too long to say here, we're open to ideas on future podcast episodes because we're gonna have some open space after the season's over. So we need some cool stuff. And those of you that follow us and watch us every week, we'd like to talk about what you're interested in. But the caveat is we kind of got to be interested in it too. So then it works well for both.
All right.
All right. Who do we got next, Miles?
We got who we got? Chibi Unity. Yeehaw. That was probably my favorite part of the act is where they walked on top of everybody's shoulders. I thought that was really cool. Really cool. I'm not really that big of a fan of theirs, but when I saw the act, I knew that they would be going through. And how could they not? They really are a pretty unique act. So,
yeah. As I said at the beginning of this episode, only Golden Buzzer I thought was worthy of a Golden Buzzer. I had them number 3 for me of who I thought should go through. I thought they would go through. I didn't think this was as strong as their first audition. Their first audition really blew me away. This one was really good. I really liked it, but I'm not into big group dance numbers too much. And so it takes a lot to really impress me with these dance numbers. They did it. The Mayas did it last season, but it doesn't happen very often for me. So I'm not mad at them going through. I think they're worthy to go through to the finals. I was really hoping they wouldn't because, again, my top 2, that would mean they had to kick one of them out, and they did.
Right.
But I'm not mad at it. I can't argue with it. This is good enough.
Yeah, it was good for me, and I'm okay with them going through to the live shows. But I still want Shadow Ace.
Yeah, we still got to get Shadow Ace. And I feel like Chibi Unity, I think they just have too many followers. I think they're too popular. And one thing I thought about, and this wasn't just last night, it just came back to my head. I've thought about this multiple times, is winning the show is so much better as like a comedian or a solo dancer or a singer where you get a contract. But if you get $1 million contract and there's like 30 of you, that's a lot less money.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you even.
And who gets the contract? I'm assuming the person that gets the contract. I don't know, but I'm assuming it's kind of the leader or the director.
Right.
Right. And then you're all working for him. I doubt all those dancers are under contract with AGT if they win. It's probably the person that does it. It's like the family dancer or what was that? The guy that
Parent Jam.
Yeah, Parent Jam. So I doubt if Parent Jam goes through all those parents get a cut of that money. I'm guessing the guy that put together Parent Jam gets it and then employs whoever he has in that group.
Right. And everybody else is basically just a volunteer.
Yeah. Or whatever you're working for. Because because I'm guessing who they're paying is who owns the rights to Chibi Unity, to that brand, to that name.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
and
correct.
all those dancers do not get that. Exciting nonetheless to be in the group.
Well,
but
unless it's a big chunk of money, then I don't think it's that big a chunk to divide 30 ways.
Yeah, and I'm doubting that whoever owns the likeness and owns the trademark for these groups are saying, well, let's just split this equally 30 ways.
Yeah, not going to happen.
No.
So they really can't win.
I'm going to pay you X amount of money, and they'll say, I deserve more, and they'll say, fine, you're out. We'll bring in this other person for the Vegas show.
Exactly. And it's the same, if I'm going to segue into the Freedom Singers, I'm sure it's the same here. It was interesting that the judges referred to the girl in the beginning who was a really good singer. She's the one who leads the group. It's Michaela. And so it's really her thing. And all these other people are, once again, I think, just accessories to her creation.
Yeah, it's just like bands. I think maybe we talked about this on an episode. I can't remember. But you have bands that tour, and there's like one original member. Well, here's, for example, Beach Boys.
Well, they actually have two. There's two licensed Beach Boy bands. Did you know that?
Well, you have what's his name? The most famous one.
Brian?
Yeah, Brian Wilson. He tours as Brian Wilson. And he has another original member with him. And then you have who's the other? Mike Love.
Yep.
Mike Love tours with another one of the members, and they tour as Beach Boys.
Right.
Because that's who owns the name Beach Boys. And you have the same as like Journey and, these other things. Sometimes you just have the guitar player in a band, and they're still touring under that name because it's whoever owns that likeness. And that band name's worth a lot of money. And so that goes, I just bring that up to say that's probably how these acts are. So if Michaela owns Freedom Singer name, it doesn't matter who's in that band, who's in that group. She owns that name. She owns the copyright.
The thought came to my mind. So she gets all these homeless people. So she gets all the money, and the homeless people are still homeless. But they were good singers in her group.
Everybody's always homeless in the group. So.
I know. I don't mean to be mean, but that's basically what it means.
Yeah. Well, if she keeps getting homeless people, if she keeps making money and Freedom Singers, they always have to be homeless, then I suppose. You can't pay people too much because then they're not going to be homeless, and then they're not going to be the group anymore. So you're going to have to move them out if they get a home.
Right. But she helped them. But she was obviously the best voice, I think, in the group.
Sure.
And they had the lady person who sang last, and I don't mean to knock people. I mean, the group is the group, but the person who sang last, whatever short part she sung, is like she shouldn't be singing. And I hate to be that Simon here, but she wasn't the best singer in the group.
This was just exactly what I expected it to be. It's not bad. It's just perfectly fine. I feel like I could go around my town. I live in a smaller town in eastern Idaho now. And I could find a bunch of people that go to churches around here. I could find 10 people that go to churches, and I guarantee they could sound as good as this. And it's not bad. There's a lot of good singers, but there's nothing extraordinary that you pay to see it. It's just a gimmick. There's a lot of people everywhere that can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to see.
I'm not laughing at it. It's just people can do it. It's not extraordinary.
I would be interested for Michaela to come back as a solo act and see what she does. personally.
I'm more interested in, Michaela, if you're out there, I'm more interested in talking to you about the work that you do. And I think there is something for you to do with your act. Again, I'm not hating on it. I don't think it's AGT. I'm going to be honest, but I think it's something like we were saying with Zion. I think you could bring this to colleges. You could bring this to high schools. You could bring this to community theater. You could bring this to political campaign stuff to bring fundraising things so that people know the plight of the homeless and bring awareness to things. I think there's a lot of stuff you can do with this.
That's not a big in that.
Yeah. And I'd like to talk more with her about what she's doing on that front.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all great. So I think the idea and the gimmick of the group is really good. It's not a Vegas act. It's not AGT, but there is definitely something you can do with it.
Right. So if somebody's just tuning in and listening, I just want to make sure that we reiterate that we're not knocking groups for the quality that they obviously have. We're just saying as far as AGT goes that they're not a Vegas act. That's all. So please don't get the wrong impression from Mixlam or I that we're trying to rag on you and make you feel bad, because that's not our purpose. Because it's about where do they belong in the AGT lineup.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, let's move on to Orlando.
Okay, Orlando. Well, he was, I think, funnier this time than he was last time. And in the beginning where he said, well, I'm just going to do jokes, I think he lived up to his promise, and some of them were kind of funny. So,
well,
the old,
If by kind of funny, I mean, I didn't laugh once. I didn't laugh once the first time. I didn't laugh once this time. I didn't even smile. This is so unfunny to me. I know humor is entirely subjective. I probably think things are really funny that other people don't think are funny at all. I get it. Obviously, as an audience, his social media follower is increased, and good for him, but he's just not funny to me. I don't think he should even have been on this audition round, much less make the finals.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he's funny. I
I
don't think his jokes were good, and he just doesn't seem like a funny person. For comedians, when I see you before you start talking, I want to start laughing.
Well, McGavin says, I didn't laugh at all for Orlando. It was not that good. Aaron is so much better and in a different league. I agree. Okay.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, and Aaron is by far the best comedian that's been on the season. He's far and away better than everybody else, and he's entirely unique. This guy, I feel like you can see in not any comedy club in any city you're in. I feel like this is open mic night guy. I feel like this isn't even a professional. I feel like he's just somebody you would just see going up there. I feel like this is, somebody who has been practicing a set, and his friends are like, you can do it. You can do it. And he goes up there and he's polished and he knows his set. It's just not funny.
Well, I can imagine him on a TV show.
On maybe a sitcom. An actor. Yeah. Maybe he'd be better, as an actor or something, but stand up, no way. I agree, McGavin. Besides Aaron, the comedy has been horrible this year. And I'm a huge, huge, huge comedy fan. Other than the magic, I watch AGT for the stand-up. Those are the two things that I watch for. And it's been horrible this year.
He was funnier in his intro package than he was in the actual act.
Speaking of intro packages, can I say how much I hate them? I hate them. I do a lot for this show because I watch everything because I'm doing the podcast. But usually when I watch these shows, I fast forward to all the acts and I watch them quick. I hate the intro packages. I don't care about your life. I don't care about your kids. I don't care whatever else. I don't need the story. I just like the act. That's just the way I am. And here's another thing while I'm complaining. And AGT is not the only one that does this. Everybody else does this, and I cannot stand it. I fast forwarded my DVR today because I cannot watch recaps. This show last night, the results show, it was 8 minutes and 30 seconds until they started the show. The recap was 8 minutes long of showing all the performances and Terry talking about all the blah, 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 like whatever. I'm like, we wasted 8.5 minutes.
Well,
that's crazy.
Well, if you want to talk about dumb things in the results show, I don't know about that lie detector thing. That was almost like we can't think of anything else to do, so let's just do this.
And it was pre-taped. It was pre-recorded, and they're just these big commercials. I hate these commercials. We can talk about Sonic in some other ways. Do your product placement. Great. But I hate this stuff. And I don't know why I put myself through it, but I do. And I watch it.
We make.
Yeah. And the lie detector test to me, again, I could be wrong. But it just seems so set up to me. I do not think that, like when they said, what show do you like more, Modern Family or AGT? I'm like, there is no way they're going to let her say Modern Family more.
Right.
And I feel like her Simon answer when she said Simon, I feel, again, this is just set up to make villain Simon. But because everything was exactly the way you thought it would be.
Right. Right.
And it's just dumb. But people love it. People love this kind of stuff.
Well,
I don't think I'm the target audience for AGT.
No, so you're not. I wonder who the target audience is at this point.
I don't know.
They're actually trying to get all these social media followers funneled into AGT.
I think who they'd like to be the target I think who they'd like the target audience to be is people 12 to 25, but I don't think that's true. I think the people that mostly watch the show and vote, and I think this is for most reality competition in general, is probably women 35 to 55.
You could be right.
I would assume.
And they have to be they have to be tech savvy in order to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say probably people that are 55 and up are probably not voting. Some of them may be, but I bet you a lot of them aren't. Or if they watch the show. So you're probably right, but only NBC has that information.
So we got 3 acts left, and I will say all 3 of these acts were in my final 5, and these final 3 acts, like the end of this show, did not drag for me. The end of this show went real well.
Kept me intrigued. Ana DeGuzman, I really like her as a magician, and what she said is she will probably be the first. If she wins, she would be the first female magician who has got as far as she has. I don't know. Have there been other female magicians other than, I guess, Bryn Cummings was kind of a magician.
I don't know. Off the top of my head. I'm sure Sam probably knows in the chat if he's still with us. Some of you AGT historians, I'm sure, can remember if there's any other female magicians who have made it.
Well, she certainly deserves to go through.
Yeah, she deserves to go through.
And I was happy that she did, even though it's not who I expected.
I thought the act was actually slow. I thought it was extremely slow, but I still liked it. I really liked it.
I think she was nervous.
I can't tell if like this nervousness is just something she has all the time or if it's AGT related, And normally I would say this person's way too nervous. It ruins the act. And she always seems surprised by her own tricks. And it always seems like she's scared it's not going to work. But she seems legitimately scared. And I'm not sure if that's an act or if this is just part of her personality or whatever. And normally I would hate it, but somehow it works with her.
Yeah.
Normally I want to see a magician that's just really confident. Like, of course I did it. I'm magic. But her, it seems everything she does, she's like nervous. And not like I'm playing it up like scared. Like, oh, I wonder if I can really find your card. It seems like she's actually scared it's not going to work.
Well, but maybe that's part of her character. I don't know. One thing that's really cool that they keep showing is a funky thing she does with the cards. You know, how she plays with them. You know, and fans them out and all that kind of stuff. I don't think I've seen anybody else do that, but I just think that's kind of cool. There was one thing that I've noticed that it seems like all of the magicians seem to be doing in the show is the same folded card trick. And I'm kind of sick of it. I think it's just variations of the same trick.
I feel like the other thing the magicians are doing, and I think it works, is they all try to put comedy in with it now.
Which is okay.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it. Just magicians in the past didn't seem like they've always done it, but now it seems like they all try to do it. Like the way they entertain us is by being funny. And again, I'm fine with it, but magicians used to not be funny, right? They kind of stare at you. And you'd pick a card and they do something, they'd be like, voila. And then you just look at them and they look at like you, they stare at you and you're just amazed or something. But now I feel like magic's becoming more comedic.
Yeah, I suppose.
Everyone's so happy. They're all happy comedians.
Who was that one guy that they didn't put through, which I thought they would? The one who was a friend of Shin Lim. I was surprised that he didn't go through, but maybe they'll bring him back. But she, you know, whether she's a good magician or a bad one, whether she's nervous or not, she's got her looks. So, you know, she's got more than one thing working for her. So Kevin Lee, that was that guy. So once again, I'm okay that she went through. I like her. Touche. Unless you have something else to say about her.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. DeCorey Johnson, he's another, I was going to say adolescent, another underage person. So the social media thing really means a whole lot of nothing. Because he can't have any social media accounts for the most part, unless it's managed by his parents or something. So that number you kind of have to ignore. But, you know, with his age, he's got a great start. So as soon as they start exploiting this kid, you know, he'll be really popular.
Sam over in the YouTube chat, Leah Kyle made 5th 2 years ago, but no female magician has won. So there's our answer for that.
Okay.
DeCorey Johnson, I had him nowhere near my top 5. In fact, well, coming into this at least. In fact, I didn't like his audition, if I remember correctly. I didn't think he should go through. This, I love the presentation. I love the suit. I love the background. The song choice was fantastic. He sounded like a young Michael Jackson. Now, if this kid can learn how to dance, he's really got something. I thought this was really, really good.
Well,
I mean, it sounded like this is classic soul music from the 70s. People don't sing like this anymore. Well, especially at this age. Push this kid to the moon. If you got this kid on the radio, Well, I guess radio, that's outdated kind of thing. But if you get this kid on Spotify and make some posters of this kid, and this kid can go.
Well, Heidi made the comment that what he did was a little retro, and I think that was 100% right on.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see him do something a little more current, and hopefully his own thing or something that somebody else hasn't done before.
Yeah.
That's what I really want to see.
But I think the retro sound works for him. And I wouldn't normally think it can go, but I think with him it can. I think that can be his thing. Kind of like Bruno Mars. I don't know how familiar you are with Bruno Mars.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a huge Bruno Mars fan, but he's very retro sounding.
Oh, very.
He's got that sound from the
disco.
70s. Yeah, that disco funk kind of era. And I feel like DeCorey can be kind of a Bruno Mars kind of guy.
Well, all right. I'll give you that.
So yeah, I'm sold on this kid. I wasn't, but I am now.
But he's gonna have to be a wild card to come back in.
Yeah, he won't come back.
I don't think he will get enough votes in the wild card if he's in that group. So, last but not least, Shadow Ace. I can't say it enough. He better come back as a wild card for me to vote on. And I think everybody who was watching his act was mesmerized. And I think one of the super cool things is when he came from behind the screen and went in front of the light.
Yeah, I don't know what else we can say about this that we haven't said kind of in the show. Of course, probably the best of the entire season. This act was better, even better than his audition. I loved it. It's funny. It's impressive. I'd buy a ticket to it. It's so incredibly cool. I have no idea how he does it. When he walked out from behind the curtain, I go, oh no, this is disaster. Because you can't do shadow puppets in front of people. That's dumb. And somehow it looked even cooler with him doing it. When you look behind the curtain, I mean, because usually it'd be like, well, let's go back to the puppets, right? Let's go back to cowbells, since we usually come back to them for most things. If we can see behind the stage with the people doing the puppets, it's not very cool.
No.
If you can see people doing the shadow puppet, if you see me doing this, that's dumb. Like, it takes away the illusion. Somehow this made the illusion cooler because I'm looking at his hands and I'm looking at the screen and I still don't know how this is happening.
I know.
It actually made it cooler, and that's like impossible.
Right. Man, I just love this guy. I mean, he was on our show, and I don't love him because he was on our show. I'm really glad he was. But, man, after he did this act, I thought, man, he won the season.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And somehow the judges weren't upset about him not making it. They seemed fine.
Well,
why did the judges say something like, well, I think people got through, but I think maybe America got it wrong? There was none of that. It was just like, yeah, okay. Shadow Ace is gone. Come on now.
No, I don't know. I just love him to death. And he's the nicest guy.
Yeah.
Great personality.
You would never, I mean, he seemed like a guy that would do shadow puppets. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, he seems like just kind of a guy that keeps to himself, sits in his room and plays video games and gets bored and does shadow puppets. And like he said on the show, now I just doing shadow puppets for people here out of nowhere. I was just doing them in the kitchen. And yeah, he seems like it, but nice guy. And hopefully he comes back.
Yep, that's what I hope.
Well, should we look at next week for a sec here?
Okay, here's who's coming next week.
Okay, let's see.
Ramad Hami brothers, those are the ones who were on each other's head.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be top 5. They've got to be.
Gotta be. Avantgarde, I can't remember exactly what they did.
Yeah, they were a dance group. They were kind of like they were kind of creepy looking. They're going to definitely be there were Japanese, I believe. They all had like on the same outfit. But yeah, they were really they're really cool. They're going to be top 5.
Mandy Mooden, I don't mean to be mean, but I can't remember. I know she was a comedian, but
Mandy
I can't remember.
She is. Let me see. Let me look at her face really quick. Look at my. Where is she here?
I don't remember.
She is. Oh, she's the older lady. Okay, I remember her. I don't. She's forgettable, so I don't even remember if I.
Yeah.
How do I put a picture on here? Let's see. Did I do this? Oops. No, what'd I do?
So you go to present.
Okay, here we go. Present.
And then it's share screen.
Okay, and then if I slides. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, it won't let me upload. It won't let me do it. Okay, well, I was just gonna put a picture on her of her on there, but it won't let me upload it. We have no slide. Well.
Well.
Oh well. Oh well. I don't know how to do it, so I won't waste everybody's time. But yeah, she's like McGavin said, she's the comedic magician from England. She's an older lady. I don't remember her. She was. I mean, I remember her face, but her act was very forgettable to me. So I don't know.
Let's see here. Can you see that?
Yeah, there we go. But that's not a picture though of anything. Well, yeah, that's her really small, but
well, let me see if I can fast forward the video here.
Yeah, there she is.
That's not her.
Yeah, the other one was. You were just on her. There she
is. We go.
Yeah, I remember her, but her act must have been forgettable.
Yeah, I don't remember the act at all. So I don't know.
Okay. How about Grace Good?
Grace Good, I certainly remember that one.
Yeah.
That was the hula hoop and the rope or pole dancing or whatever it was.
Yep. So I love that.
Unforgettable.
That's going to be top 5 for me, I think.
All right. What happened to my picture here? Add to stage. There we go. And Senya Makiva, I remember her, the little girl doing the dances, and I just remember it.
Yeah, that's not going to be top. I mean, it doesn't even deserve to be in here. I hate it when they put me in weird positions where I just gotta hate on little kids. But I don't know like what she's doing in this. But
yep,
she's not gonna be top 5.
No, she won't be top 5.
I'm assuming I'll think this. She'll be exactly what I'm expecting.
Yeah. Trailer Flowers. I remember 2 good-looking girls. I don't particularly remember the song.
I remember I didn't think they should go through. I remember thinking, I think I said something like they've got a great look, but they're not that good.
Yeah. Sang Soon Kim, that was the tennis shoe guy, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I remember, I don't know if you remember much about him, but you weren't that into him.
No.
I remember
you were
kind of boring. I liked him. Yeah. I hope he doesn't do the same thing. I hope he shows us that he has some a little versatility as a magician. Because again, I love the magician, so I'm hoping he shows us just a little more, something different.
Yeah. Hopefully, steps it up. Lachunik, and I apologize if I have her name spelled wrong, but I think depending upon the social media platform, she has to spell different ways. So, but she's the voice teacher or the singer, and I don't think she'll make it to the top 5.
No, I wasn't even that into her. So, yeah, she was not even somebody I would have put through to the auditions.
Yeah, I agree. 82nd Airborne Choir. I don't think they'll make the top 5, but if I'm to pick, let's see, 1, 2, 3. They could make it into the top 5. I think out of all the acts,
they could. I mean, just their gimmick of being military.
Yeah,
alone.
exactly. Gimmick. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's not going to be because of their performance, but their gimmick might get them there.
Gabriel Henrique, I think he's a guy from Brazil or something.
Yeah, he's like the professional singer.
Yeah, yeah.
He's the one that we had that's actually that's like somewhat popular in Brazil.
Yep. And then Eduardo Trevino, who I don't think you particularly liked. This was the mariachi singer guy, which I really liked him.
Yeah, and I just don't like mariachi. To me, yeah, this is going to be another one of those shows to me. I think I'll have a lot of negativity to say. How do we say that? Rambaldi?
Ramadhami.
So the brothers.
Yes.
And Arvin Garde and Grace Good are my solid 3. They have to be top 3 just by looking at this.
Solid
Everybody
3
else, I don't know who. Those are the solid 3.
I'll give that to you.
Other than that, Mandy's a magician. Sansoon, I'll probably like it. I don't know if everybody else will. I'm going to just go with Sansoon and Mandy because they're magicians and I like them. So they'll be a week 4 and 5 for me, probably.
Who? Mandy?
Yeah.
She's a magician or a comedian?
She's a magician and comedian.
Oh, well, then I totally forgot it.
Yeah. And so those will probably be week 4 and 5 for me. But I think what I think's going to happen, we'll have the brothers, Arvin Gardner, Grace Good. Those are solid 3.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say Gabriel and 82nd Airborne. I think those will be
top 5.
I wouldn't even be surprised to see one of those 2 in the top 3. They shouldn't be, but I won't be surprised, especially with Gabriel's following.
Yeah, but there's been some other acts on there with really large followings and they didn't make it through.
Avant-Garde, I'll put money on right now. They'll go. They're making the finals.
I'm thinking Grace Good will. That's my definite yes.
Sam just said, I'm excited for next week. It might be the most stacked live show lineup in recent memory. The only acts I don't like, / think I don't have a chance, are Estina and Trailer Flowers. This one we're talking about now was the most stacked. I don't see this next week as stacked. It's going to be better than some. I think, again, we have 3 solid ones. I don't know, man. I don't know, Sam. Maybe, I hope you're right and I'm wrong, but I don't see 5 solid acts.
Well, I think personally that Eduardo Trevino is going to be in the top 5. And perhaps Gabriel Henrique. I don't think...
Man, we're all over on the place. We're all over. We've said almost everybody between us.
Well, what's his name? Andrew or Alfie? Andrew, the young kid, he went through. And if America voted for him, I'm guessing they're going to vote for Eduardo Trevino.
And Gavin says here on YouTube, Gabriel is making minimum top 3, and he is likely to go through. Gabriel is a golden buzzer, and the golden buzzers all made it besides the Drum Academy. And Gabriel is way better than the drummers. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Gabriel has a huge following. He's a golden buzzer. I don't think he should be top 3 or top 2, but I think he'll go through. I think, okay, here's what I'll go on record with this. I think Gabriel and Avante are going to go through. I don't think that's who should go through, but that's who will go through.
Man, I think the best act there was Grace Good out of all of them.
Yeah. I think Grace Good is probably the best. Well, I think the brothers are the best. I think Grace Good is probably second best here.
I don't know what else those brothers are going to do. I mean, that was impressive
for me.
Well, they better do something else to impress me. And if they don't do something else, then I can't do it. Great.
Okay, so who are you going on? Let's say who are you going on record to say is making it through? Who's the two? Who's the two making it through?
Definite Grace Good. Gee. I think if Alfie went through, then Eduardo's going to go through. Put the kids in.
You're going to go Eduardo and Grace Good?
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
I'll go on record with Gabriel and Avante.
All right.
But under duress, because I don't think Gabriel should probably be top 5. Actually.
Now, if they do it could be that they each do a bad presentation or have a bad act on, which could change my mind. So that's who I think if they keep it up, that's who's going through. So
McGavin said Alfie didn't even go through to the top 5 or to the top 2. He only went through the top 5.
Well, he has a chance.
I don't see any chance for Eduardo.
Well,
I mean, man, I don't know if there's that many fans of mariachi music that are going to be voting.
Okay. Well, you know what? If I'm wrong, then it'll be the first time in my life that I've ever been wrong on this matter.
Except for Shadow Ace. We were all wrong.
Yes, that one blew me away.
People should be more outraged about this than they are.
But, I don't want to be outraged about that too much because I still like Anna DeGuzman, and
yeah, that's what sucks is they still had deserving people go through. I say it should have. We had undeserving people go through on the other show, so
they should have taken all 3.
Yeah,
I really hate to say it on that one, but.
All right, Miles, do we have any parting shots here?
Parting shots. Well, I just hope it's entertaining. I'll be there and glued to my set on Tuesday at 7 Central here in Illinois. I don't know what else to say, but I just hope that maybe Simon will have a light case of Alzheimer's and revert back to his old self for one episode.
I hope Sam's right in the chat there, and this is an awesome episode. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's really good. And as always, everybody, we thanks everybody for being with us. We love
thank
doing
you.
the show, and all you that follow us and subscribe. And if you like us, we always say it helps us and the algorithm and everything. If you like the videos, wherever you're watching them, if you subscribe, if you want to follow me, if you want to follow Miles, just look up the Miles Revolution on any platform you're watching. YouTube's generally our main one for this, but you can find us all over the place. And we're always fine for private messages too, if you want to get in touch with us about anything you'd like to see on the show or us talk about. And you can find us live at this time every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 o'clock Mountain, 8 o'clock Central, and 9 o'clock for you on the East Coast. And with that, I am Mixalom. He is the Miles Revolution. We are two freaks doing a show, and we will see you next time.
Oh, next time. I was going to say,